since this morning and we drove all the way to Manglina Beach. We drove through a really big puddle. We didn't stay there because it was too windy and cold, so we drove to an Anderson Rock, which is near Wave Rock. We're a few days ahead of plan, so we're going to check out the area here tomorrow.
So we're up at Anderson Rock, which is about 40 k's north of Holleton, which is where Wave Rock is. Nice little free camp here. There was fires, a little bit of firewood set up for us. A little bit windy and a little bit miserable, but it's pretty protected. And there's a pretty cool rock. There's a bigger one on the way in, so I'm not entirely sure how it works, but yeah, one of those cool rocks, which is like Wave Rock, obviously without the wave interest.
It's a lake. I think it's a puddle. Mom, I think it's a puddle.
Yeah.
Mom, see those cans? Mom!
Yep.
See those cans? We like to do that. Yeah, I like.
Yep. Very cool.
Meet the can of the can. The biggest can ever. Don't knock it. No! We're at Wave Rock. We've been here before twice in the same day last year, and it was quieter because we went in the morning. They also use the rock to collect water for Holleton. So there's a wall on Wave Rock, like over this side, and any water that runs along the rock will go into the dam. We're at Hippo's Yawn, just up from Wave Rock. We drove here and Mum and Bubba were walking. There's almost no one here. And look at it, it looks like Hippo yawning. I think they only like have 40.
Yeah, there's not many, do they?
We're at an old Holleton town. It was here for 1925, 1942. There was a whole bunch of buildings, but now there isn't much, but there's a lot of old stuff and it's pretty cool. And in this, it was a mining town, so there was a lot of gold. They found a lot of gold, 400 kilos of gold. We tried to go see a plane crash from the 1940s, but the road was closed. So we ended up pulling in a gravel pit and having sausages for lunch.
We're out on a track in between Mount Palmer and a town whose name I can't remember, a little servo whose can't remember. The road, it said road closed, enter at own risk. And it's just been getting sketchier and sketchier. So we've come to a bit of a muddy section, which doesn't look too bad, but trying to walk it and check depth, so I slipped on my ass because it's slick as. Piece of piss.
We set up camp at Mount Palmer, old gold mining town. We came down a really rough road from Yellowdine and Dad fell over in the mud. But there's a really cool hotel arch
still here and a bunch of pits. The town was only here for 10 years, but they mined a lot of gold and it's really pretty.
As you know, Bubble, you should always wear safety footwear when chainsawing. So these thongs have arch support, so you don't collapse your arches.
The arch.
And we got here, a guy from the mines turned up and just gave us a map and said where we can go and can't go, because we're right on the border of a mine and right on the border of an exploration lease, which we're allowed on to lease, just no prospecting or something. But yeah, he told us to head off sort of these signs on the other side of this. He said, oh, it's the best spot over there. But I think he's led us astray because there's a bit of a campground down behind the hotel. But it's on the other side of the road from the hotel and it's way better. It's massive flat clear areas. It's obviously all among the old town site, but yeah, it's much better than the area he told us to camp in. Nothing wrong with the area he told us to camp in, it's just all grounds just covered in stuff, and yeah, this is much clearer and more open and nicer. But, yeah. So this is what remains of the Mount Palmer Hotel. Massive site. This community sort of started in 1934 and didn't have a liquor license, and the nearest booze was a long way away, which obviously ended up being a problem. So they awarded a liquor license to someone on the condition that the hotel was built in 12 months, which is an odd condition. But anyhow, it was massive. It had 4 double and 22 single rooms, and it's I'm trying to read off the sign at the same time. But in addition, there were a number of parlours, a dining room, kitchen, 6 bathrooms, a polished jarrah staircase that provided access to the upper floor. It became famous for its extremely long bar and cost at the time £15,000. But it only stayed open for 9 years. Yeah, but like, here's a photo of it back in the day. And considering we're in the middle of nowhere, that thing must have been incredible. Yeah, the site's really cool. It's obviously full of all old bricks and stuff. There's a couple of pits, like there's a big cellar. Looks like 2 big water storage pits. You can see sort of the outer wall of it. So I mean, this is, you imagine, the centre of it. Well, that's the outer wall, and there's all pillars along there for the deck and stuff. And it was, yeah, must have been really impressive.